El Clásico de la CONCACAF, a new edition of the big rivalry. Mexico hosting the U.S. men's national team at Estadio Azteca. World Cup Qualifier on the line. We'll talk about the game alongside Alex Pareja. I am Mauricio Pedroza. And whenever Alex, we speak about this rivalry, we are usually trying to figure out who truly is el gigante de la CONCACAF. As of late, the U.S. men's national team, they have Mexico's number, but this is different. This is at Estadio Azteca. A lot of players are going to be absent, key players. So when you foresee the game, what do you expect first from Mexico and then from the U.S. men's national team?
Hi, Mauricio. I expect from Mexico the same kind of game that they've been playing at the Estadio Azteca over and over in this qualifying stage. They are a low-paced team. There's a super veteran team. Their age average is 29.5, 29.4 in the last two games, the starting lineup, and that tells you a lot about the kind of players that they use. They're not quick enough. Their only quick players, or only fast players are the wingers like Chucky Lozano or Tecatito Corona, but other than them, they are not fast enough. They lack of pace and they lack of control of the game. They against rivals like Costa Rica, they were given the ball and they couldn't find any spaces in the final third. And against Panama, they struggled when the Panama national team started to press up the field. So they're vulnerable. I think that this is really the time, Mauricio, when the U.S. national team finally can clinch a win at the Estadio Azteca.
All right, so it's never easy for the U.S. men's national team to play at Estadio Azteca. Actually, have only won once, but when it's about World Cup Qualifier, they have never won at Estadio Azteca. Now, this time might be different. Let's talk about Mexico for just a moment. El Tata Martino, that team has also struggled a lot. And in recent times, they lost Nations League final, they lost the Gold Cup final, and then they lost the game at Cincinnati. So what's been about this Mexican team that they have been unable to beat their rivals as of late?
I think that they kind of get frozen by pressure sometimes. There's a huge amount of pressure over that team, over El Tata Martino, their manager, and their Mexican fans are very demanding. They not only want to win, and you know that, they want to certify themselves as the giant of the CONCACAF, and they're not achieving that. El Tata Martino barely changes his system. They get stuck in that 4-3-3 with a lot of veteran players. I don't think they're exploding all the potential of the pool of players that Mexico has. They stick with veteran players like Héctor Herrera, Andrés Guardado. They don't have any replacement for Raúl Jiménez, who's struggling lately with injuries. So I think that they lack a plan B or even a plan C, and they rely on their best players, their difference makers, El Tecatito Corona, El Chucky Lozano, or Raúl Jiménez himself. But as a team, you can tell that there's a lack of chemistry, especially in the final third. They don't move the ball quick enough. They rely on individual talent, but there's a lack of cohesion in the team that if the United States national team can exploit that, I'm fully convinced, Mauricio, that this is the time for the United States for win that game.
Whoa! Okay,
yes.
Okay. So we are approaching prediction time. Before that, I completely agree with you, and I go back to that game in Cincinnati. First half, Mexico had its chances, right? Tecatito Corona actually had two great chances, unable to finish, but halftime adjustments. That has been a massive issue for Tata Martino. And yes, Greg Berhalter, during that match, he had the advantage of having a player like Christian Pulisic, who came off the bench and pretty much decided the game with a fantastic performance. Now, when we now try to translate that into Thursday's game, do you see Tata Martino adjusting now, knowing how Greg Berhalter might play him? Do you see adjustments? Can we expect a surprise tactical decision from the mastermind of Tata Martino to try to go out and win convincingly this game?
No. And that's as simple as that. No, El Tata Martino always sticks with his 4-3-3, with his favorite players. He doesn't move farther than that. He only makes substantial changes when forced by injuries, but nothing else. And he lacks of a plan B. If I was El Tata Martino for this game against the United States, I would switch to a 4-2-3-1. I would give Alexis Vega the number 10 role, and I would play with El Tecatito Corona and El Chucky Lozano as wingers and Raúl Jiménez up front, but they're not going to do that. And the United States need to capitalize the 3 Ps at the Estadio Azteca. Pace. Our team, I'm sorry, but I'm rooting for the Americans here.
I can tell.
You know that I'm a citizen. We run faster and longer than the Mexican players. That's the first P. Pace. The second one, high pressing. The United States need to apply that high press, and they can do it because they have brave center backs as Miles Robinson and Walker Zimmerman that love to anticipate and to play way far from their own goal. And the third one is not pressing, is pressure, the third P. Can you imagine, Mauricio, that the United States score at the first half, let's say minute 15 of the game, 15 minutes into the game, and let's say Jordan Morris or Christian Pulisic find the back of the net? There's going to be a massive meltdown at the Estadio Azteca, and that will affect the players as well. So 3 Ps: pace, high pressure, and then capitalizing the pressure that the Mexican team will feel if they don't start the game properly.
Yeah. And if you combine that with the fact that there are big questions regarding Mexico's back line, Nestor Araujo is injured, Johan Vazquez will likely be the best defender in that back line of 4. Who's going to play right back? Left back, most likely Gerardo Arteaga, but still a lot of uncertainty concerning Mexico's back line. So you look pretty confident to me that this might be the first Aztecazo in World Cup qualifiers for the U.S. men's national team. Are you willing to put your money where your mouth is and go ahead and predict that the U.S. men's national team will beat Mexico at Estadio Azteca?
I'm betting with you, Mauricio, my friend. You know that we know each other for quite long already.
Yeah.
$100, and we're gonna win 1-3 at the Estadio Azteca.
All right, I was gonna put a beer on the line. That's it. That's good enough. But I'm giving you the scoreboard. Okay.
It all depends. It all depends on Greg Berhalter's willing to win this game. Mauricio.
Yeah.
If the United States national team is brave enough to believe in themselves, to not to count on those other games to be played later after the Estadio Azteca clash, and they focus on just winning this game, they can do it. That now it's the time. They have the players, despite they're missing one important player for each line. So no Maternal in goal, no Serginho Dest in the defense, no Weston McKennie in the midfield, and not Brendan Aronson up front. Despite those big missing players, I think that if Berhalter is aggressive and offensive enough, I would play a 4-2-3-1 against Tyler Adams and let's say Yunus Musa or any other player, Kelly Acosta in the middle of the park, Pulisic is on number 10, Jordan Morris on the left, Tim Weah on the right, and let's say Jesus Ferreira, who scored a hat-trick in the last fixture of the MLS.
Right.
If Berhalter is brave enough, we can win this game.
All right, I'm sticking with Mexico. Bigger picture, both teams need the 3 points to face the last 2 games of the octagonal with a little more of a relief. But nevertheless, this is the big game in CONCACAF at Estadio Azteca. Alex Pareja, Mauricio Pedroza. We'll see you next time.